AEW Fyter Fest 2019. This is the Wrestling Inc. podcast. I'm Glenn Rubenstein, joined by Mr. Matt Morgan and Raj Giri to break down AEW's second pay-per-view, this time from Daytona Beach, Florida. Matt, what did you think of the show?
Loved this. Just for Jon Moxley alone was worth price of admission to anyone who went to that show or any of us that watched it at home. Easily, he by himself, which is saying something because there's a lot of stuff on this I liked a lot. But wow, he is the anti-former WWE superstar because a lot of times you come into these places, meet many of us to TNA, many of us to other companies for that matter, and I don't want to say we do less, at first and just and try to work off a name value, but this dude threw everything out there and then some. He did this real quick. This is the business that man just did. All right. He did great business and got another guy over in Joey Janela. He got Kenny Omega. This fucking mic.
We can hear you now.
We got you.
All right. Real quick. Kenny Omega into a gear we've never seen him in. I've never seen him in. And told a great story in what could have been a really ugly match with people that maybe aren't fans of hardcore wrestling, and was very innovative in how he went about it. Easily worth price of admission alone, Moxley.
Yeah, that main event was wild. These AEW shows, I really like how they're structured. We're at the least important match at the beginning, the most important at the end, because WWE, they spread the big matches around. Whereas AEW builds, and by the end, it's a very, I thought it was a really, really good show. This was kind of like Saturday night's main event back in the day, where you're kind of building up the main guys, the big guys with big matches at the next big show get wins. You got Hangman Page, who's facing Chris Jericho. Jericho's not on the show, but Hangman Page getting a win, and then Kenny Omega, who'll be facing Jon Moxley. Both those guys got big wins. Builds them up, but at the same time, to give the rub to these younger guys that a lot of people are not familiar with. So I thought it was very effective in that. I thought the Cody Darby Allin match was very effective and really good for what it was. So I hated the chair shot to the head, but we'll talk about that. But yeah, I thought a really fun show. Again, this is not one of their big shows. It's one of the smaller ones, but for a smaller show, I thought it was a lot of fun.
That being said, took a while to get there. Started off kind of rough.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, they kind of build. So if you were to ask me at the midway point of the show what I thought, I'd be like, it's fine. But by the end, I thought it was really good. But yes, exactly to your point.
So let's get this out of the way. The Fyre Festival jokes were a bit of a lead balloon. Now, the Fyre Festival documentaries aired. The festival itself happened about a year and a half ago, or didn't happen. The disastrous festival that happened, I believe it was in the Bahamas. So we had the documentaries that came out start of the year on Netflix and Hulu. They were huge meme potential, lots of online jokes about Fyre Festival. And now here we are 6 months later. They really built this pay-per-view around the Fyre Festival debacle, making jokes about it on Twitter, spoofing elements of it. And it seemed like they stopped very early on once the main pay-per-view got off the ground tonight. Matt, did you get those jokes?
No, tell me again.
Okay, so Fyre Festival was this festival Ja Rule and this company tried to put on a year and a half ago in the Bahamas. Failed miserably. They promised luxury villas, all these bands were going to play. Yeah. When they showed up, they actually got FEMA tents that they were housing people in. A lot of bands pulled out at the last minute. Okay. Their supposed gourmet food was cheese on a piece of bread.
Why would they swing for that? I'm pretty much up to date with pop culture. By the way, Ja Rule's so out of pop culture. He's ancient by this time. He hasn't been relevant since '98 with freaking what was it? J-Lo, the Rue, baby. You know what I mean? First of all, they're making references to guy doesn't matter. And I live in this state, and I didn't even know that. And I know everything that happens here.
Well,
so they've got to be careful with. Yeah. Go ahead. My point is, it's not just that. Their entire stuff, they've got to be very careful about with swinging for these huge misses. There's a lot of misses in tonight's show.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, I thought if you're not aware of the Fyre Fest, I mean, all those jokes would have fallen flat. The stuff with and a lot of stuff on social media, the stuff where they don't have the nice lunches and they're making jokes on Twitter about the backstage accommodations and things like that. I mean, I don't know. The Fyre Fest. There are films on it. There's a Netflix documentary on it, and I believe there's one on Hulu as well.
and
Okay.
very popular in early
Okay.
January. So the joke they opened the show with, where the guy was talking about performing favors, what was it, for water or something like that? That was a joke in the documentary, was they had to get water through customs, and the head of Fyre Festival knew that one of the guys on the staff was gay, and essentially said, if it comes down to it, I need you to offer to like service this customs official to get our bottles of water in.
Oh
This
my
is like
Lord.
one of the famous meme bits that went viral from the Fyre Fest doc. So there were a lot of references tonight. Even Blink 182
Blink
pulled out of Fyre
182, yeah.
Festival.
Again, it's very obscure. I mean, no one that didn't see the documentaries would know what this was.
Guys, I live on Netflix. I never saw that
Yeah,
advertisement.
it's called Fyre. I haven't seen it yet either, but
It's very good. Both of them are very good.
I don't watch real TV. I stayed on Netflix and Hulu, like for real.
Yeah.
So I don't know how the hell I missed that. I just thought it was like supposed to be Kenny Omega with a new role of trying to book things and it just failing. I didn't get the joke.
And that's probably what it came across as to everyone that didn't get the joke. It's like these guys are in over their heads, or like they're spoofing being in over their heads.
That's what I thought it was. I'll be honest. I didn't like it to a degree because, okay, I'm being the elite. It's funny sometimes, but in this show, I didn't necessarily like it because these guys I want to see become huge stars, especially Kenny, especially Bucks.
Right. Yeah. Looking incompetent as baby faces doesn't.
No.
Is not a way to make a big star. But yeah, so that's what all that was for anyone wondering.
I'm out of touch, man.
Well, it's good they dropped it. They dropped it shortly into the main card, and I think that it was not going over with the crowd at all.
No, it was silence. It was dead silence. They were trying to. I mean, these people were trying to chant for anything they could.
Oh, yeah. No, this was a great crowd. Great crowd. Raj?
Yeah, so that's what the tents and stuff out there were too. But they definitely, I don't know if they purposely stopped doing it because a lot of those were, probably pre-taped and everything. Or they just,
it was just done with. Yeah, it could have been just written that way that it was done with. I think they can. Yeah, as the show went on, there was a lot of serious things that happened. I think there's things you couldn't go back to comedy bits in between.
Right. You don't want to go from the Cody to a comedy bit.
Yeah, like bring out Ja Rule just for kicks. No, I think speaking of the crowd, Matt, to your point, that crowd tonight wanted to love everything. So it's a testament to some of the stuff tonight that didn't hit. Mm-hmm. And we'll talk about those segments. But I want to say, whoever mic'd that crowd tonight, it sounded fantastic. Like AEW needs to steal that audio, or WWE needs to steal that audio guy from AEW. I thought the way they mic'd the crowd made him sound really full, really engaged, like the clapping, all of it. It was thunderous. I really liked what the crowd added to the show tonight.
It was pretty much sold out, if not completely sold out. Nick Hausman for Wrestling Inc. is at the event covering it, and he said it looked completely full.
I bet you then shout out to my boy from TNA, Keith Mitchell. He was amazing with us in Impact, and he was always just like scratching his head, wishing he can do more, and then like would literally be told certain like not to care as much. It was insane. He's super talented. You guys remember him back from World Class Championship Wrestling? I believe is where he started and cut his teeth. Is an amazing, amazing man. And I was excited when AEW brought him in. I was intelligent as hell.
No, very cool.
Tony Khan talked a lot about Keith Mitchell and his producing on the Steve Austin podcast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice. So we started tonight with a 3-way tag match. We had Private Party versus Best Friends and 2 members of SCU. The winner advances to All Out for a shot at the first round bye in the AEW World Tag Team Championship tournament. And
Kazarian and Scorpio Sky for SCU.
Yeah, I was going to say the same. Yep.
Yeah. So this was interesting. I thought Best Friends winning was definitely a surprise. But Matt, what do you think about Private Party and their show?
What's his name? Quinn?
Yeah, he's awesome.
That kid's gonna be a star. He needs to drop his partner. No offense to his partner. His partner's talented too, but his partner's still learning. You can see it from a mile away. He's still trying to feel who he is in that ring. He's got a long way to go, not move-wise, but timing-wise and figuring out who he is as a character. Now, Quinn, on the other hand, he like I just said, he's a star in every sense of the word, waiting to pop. And he's still figuring out who he is, which is scary. But he's a lot more along than the other partner is, in my opinion. And he has the ability to steal the show. I mean, that dude is as athletic can get. Like, did you see him like hop into the ring? And did you hear the reaction, by the way? just tagging into the ring and doing it up and over the top rope, but like doing damn near headstand to do it, like handstand rather. He's impressive, man. I was really impressed with him. And because at first I was like, their gimmick is kind of corny. You know, you had a dude here in a black tank top. He's kind of average looking. And then Quinn looks like somebody. His hair, his outfit, his gear, rather. He looks, again, I can't say enough about him. The match was great. Again, though, surprise best friends won this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think you don't want SCU winning this.
Why? Why would you not have them in your tag tournament to crown champions?
Well, I just don't think you want all of the elite always winning. You know what I mean? And SCU
Are they out of the tournament then? SCU?
No, they just
don't get the bye.
Yeah.
Okay, because SCU has to be in that tag tournament, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
We'll probably get a rematch of Private Party and SCU would be my guess at some point in that tournament.
I would rather see that than the three-way we saw tonight, by the way.
Yeah. Best friends. I mean, okay, so I get Trent and I get Chuck. I get that people like them. I don't think their entrance or their gimmick is that great. Am I missing something with this?
I'm with you. I don't like the hug stuff.
No,
it just looks, it just seems corny to me.
It's not fun. Like, I get it's supposed to be funny, and it's like I just don't think it's funny. I look at Trent Barrett, I'm going, this kid could be a huge star. I shouldn't call him a kid. He's been around for a while now.
All right.
And Chuck Taylor, I've seen him on the indies. I did an indie shot before I finally retired, and he was on it, and I was impressed with him. He was doing his Kentucky Gentleman gimmick, and I was, at the time, pretty impressed with him. I'd only read about him on the internet up until then, but Trent Barretta is by far and away the bigger star between those two. He looks like $1 million physically.
Yeah. And Chuck Taylor, he was in ROH for a long time. I mean, they're a good tag team. I agree with you with Trent Barretta. When I look at them, I don't see them as a tag team. No, they don't have the similar attire or anything that kind of gels. But I'm sorry. Go ahead, Matt.
Good point.
Yeah. But, this crowd was into it. I think Glenn kind of went to what you said. They were ready to love anything that was given to them, except for the librarian stuff. But
God, please kill that. Kill it already.
I know.
Except for Leva Bates. You've got to find something for Leva Bates.
No, they love her.
So damn good.
She's good, but that librarian stuff is just...
She's better than that.
When you're talking about wanting a more sports-oriented product, and then you got both those guys... doing that.
But okay, let's just throw something out though. One of the things we always talk about is being organic, and like WWE not cashing in when something catches. We're not going to call the librarian gimmick fire. Okay, we're not going to say it caught fire, but we're going to say it did. I watch Being the Elite, and I'm assuming a lot of the fans that go to these shows watch it. When they first brought it up, it was funny, and it was a hit for me at first. Who's going to be the librarian kind of gimmick.
Yeah.
And they showed the tapes of the entries and stuff. I would have just put it out there one time, and that would have been it. And I would have killed it off. And they don't got to keep bringing it out every single week. It's just going to keep getting worse and decrescendoing and decrescendoing and decrescendoing. And tonight, this was a crowd that loves everything. They did not love this. They didn't even react. And to my understanding, the guy who plays the librarian,
Peter Avalon,
he is good doing his normal shtick that he does in NWA. They just need to let him be him, because he's very entertaining as a heel. He gets it. He's another MJF type, actually. He knows how to get heat. He doesn't need to do this stuff. And Leva Bates is way too good for this.
I know some people. Let's get the result of this match, and we'll go back to this. But
sorry.
Yeah, so the result, best friends won. So
it was Kazarian pinning Cassidy for the win of Street Party. Private Party.
Kaz did not win.
Huh?
Kaz did not win the match.
No, Kazarian didn't win. Cassidy, no. Who hit it on? Trent and Truck blasted Cassidy with a kick in the knee.
Yes.
Hit Cassidy for the 1-2-3.
Right. Yeah. My bad.
No problem. Right. It was a long night. A lot happened tonight. So the best friends get that first round bye. The librarians came out. Leva and Peter cut a promo. Man, I can even tell you could tell like the crowd was giving it a chance.
Yeah, they were.
And you can tell the crowd loves Leva, but they just don't care for this gimmick. So we had this match, Allie versus Leva Bates. What did you think of the match itself, minus the gimmick, Matt?
I think Allie looked like $1 million. I thought so. She looked different in her ring attire. she's still figuring out who she is in the ring, and I think
Yeah.
she's very close to getting there, and I think she is very good in the ring. She tries to be innovative with a lot of the things she does. She doesn't copy what the other girls are doing, like so many of the other girls do. I just think she's different. I like Allie.
I actually thought she looked. Yeah, I agree with you, Matt. I thought she looked good in this match. I feel like the Librarian stuff that they were doing before the match kind of killed the crowd off a little bit. Like I feel like they never got into this match. Leva Bates, I don't like this gimmick. I didn't like the blue pants stuff either. I know a lot of people
Neither did I.
Yeah. But hopefully she finds a good character, because I think she has a ton of potential. I think this match, they worked it fine. I thought it was a fine match, but the fact that the crowd wasn't into it kind of killed it. And it was one of the weaker things on the show, I thought.
And Leva Bates is one of the best female wrestlers today. She just is.
Yeah, and
what's great about her is she's a utility player. You can put her in there with anybody, and she's going to get that other person over, along with herself, actually, even in a losing effort, usually because of her in-ring work. That's very rare. And they got to figure out something else for her, and she deserves it.
Yeah.
I think it's tough that this was the first women's singles match in AEW. Was this match tonight?
I didn't think of it that way. I didn't.
Well, it said it on commentary.
That didn't resonate with me. Even they may have. It just blew from my head because I watched the whole thing too, and I don't remember them saying that. That's my point. For me, the first female match that I recall, and I could be wrong, that I'll remember will be the 4-way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which was fantastic. I think it's interesting. And Raj, have they said as much? I mean, their debut, I know they've confirmed they're debuting the women's championship belt at All Out in Chicago. Is the idea to launch AEW and then focus on the women once things are up and running and they have weekly TV to build out that division more? Because it feels right now sort of piecemeal together with these matches they're doing.
I'm sorry. What do you mean by that?
The plan for AEW in the women's division. They've been very clear that they want to be an inclusive company,
right.
But it seems like the women aren't it's not as thought out as you could see how they're moving the pieces with the men. Look at tonight, all the storylines that we saw built out and all these future matches being built with the women right now. What storylines are there?
I don't think that was on. I don't think that had anything to do with the female versus male. Honestly, Glenn, I think that's just the way it played itself out. And that could have been two guys stuck in that same situation. A lot of their storylines are played on being the elite, right?
Yeah. A
lot of it's on those YouTube releases of theirs and Twitter and whatnot. I think this was just, I'll be honest, meant to be a cold match between two really good female talent. I think going forward, because Brandy's a very big part of that company, we'll see it in a weekly, episodic way. The women's storylines, start to be built. I hope so too.
Yeah, I feel like these characters right now, with Kenny Omega, Jon Moxley, they're already kind of built into the audience, so it's easy to do this without weekly TV. But yeah, once weekly TV gets started, I'm sure you'll see much more of a focus on the women's storylines. But yeah, to your point, Glenn, they don't really have any right now. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm sure once the belt is unveiled, you can tell who they kind of have their sights set on. Britt Baker has been pushed pretty heavily,
and she should be.
And she should be, yeah. And
Nyla,
sorry, the worst thing they could have done, and Austin Kong is one of my very best friends on the planet. She is, but the worst thing they did for Nyla Rose is bring Austin Kong out in that 4-way match.
Stole that thunder.
Yeah, she stole her big
monster.
I call it big man heat. I'll be at the gym and there'll be a guy that's like 6'7". And I'll watch him looking in the mirror, like in the corner of the gym, and sizing himself up next to me. In wrestling, we would call that mutual big man heat. Like whenever you walk past, let's say I walk past Kane or someone like that, I'll stay a little bit taller to make you get a lot of heat doing that. But it's big man heat. And it's hilarious to watch others get all weirded out about if somebody's taller than them. I always prefer, if I was on Big Show, I loved it. Or Kevin Nash, I loved it because I didn't feel like a freak of nature. I felt normal. I didn't feel like a zoo animal anymore. You know what I mean? I felt normal.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but with Nyla Rose, I'm telling you, she's a monster and she's an ass kicker. And to bring Austin Kong out,
yeah, she didn't look as daunting.
No.
So Allie won that match by pinfall.
Yes.
And then we had probably the most controversial match of the night, at least certainly up until this point. The hardcore match between Michael Nakazawa and Alex Jabali, who is the CEO of CEO, who's putting on the fighting game competition that was happening at the same time as Fyter
Is
Fest.
this dude? That's what I kept saying. Like, I'm really out of touch. I watched every Being the Elite. How did I miss this dude show up?
He's a big esports guy, and this is Kenny Omega, and the Bucks are really into fighting video games. So that's why they have this.
Is CEO going on right now?
Yeah.
So this is kind of in conjunction with the CEO Gaming Festival that's going on right now in Daytona, and this guy is with the Gaming Festival. He's not a wrestler.
No,
no ties to wrestling, really. Yeah.
I don't believe so.
Yeah.
But that being said, I mean, Raj, would you have had as good of a match as he had tonight? I'm not saying he had a great match, but this was better than it had any right to be, I thought.
It's weird. I thought in some ways it was embarrassing, but in other ways it was entertaining. So it was kind of.
In other ways, it was also smart business then, from what you guys are saying, because I have heard of the CEO video gaming tournament. You know what I mean? I know what that is. And if it was there, you said in town, I mean, that is pretty damn smart business then, I guess. I just don't know if I'd give him that much time out there. I just wouldn't.
Yeah.
It would be a backstage bit. It would be an in-ring promo bit. It would not be a professional wrestling match. When you're already asking the fans to really suspend their disbelief to begin with so many of the athletes they have there that do so many crazy, I don't want to say orchestrated, but let's just call it what it is true, orchestrated spots in a lot of ways that are very transparent, and you have to kind of go along with them because you want to see this amazing set of athleticism that's about to unfold by them hitting what move it is. So we'll come along for the ride for Young Bucks and Lucha Brothers and all of them. We'll give them that benefit of the doubt because it's so damn good and entertaining and athletic as hell and stuff we've never seen before from wrestling, in my opinion. So we'll go along with that. We will not go along with it when it's guys that do not wrestle, have no business being in the ring, and it just kills the suspension of disbelief. Like you said, at times I'd be embarrassed, and other times I was like, just get this match over with already.
Yeah. And, the one thing I thought they did a bad job of on the show is the whole show's kind of got a fighting theme. It's got the video game theme, right? But they never really explain what CEO is for the people watching that don't know what it is, why they're in town, why it's called Fyter Fest, the video game tie-in. They never really explained that. And I felt like they could have just done some shots at CEO, showing the video game convention, explaining, showing the wrestlers at CEO.
Yeah.
Just really making it clear what this is for people that aren't video game fans.
That would have been awesome, actually. I think that because those tournaments are humongous. They're packed.
Right.
You know what I mean? People go crazy for them. Like, that would have been awesome to show, especially where they're going next to Jacksonville, what the entire purpose of their next Jacksonville show is for.
Yeah.
What happened with the shooting and whatnot, right?
Mm-hmm.
In a Madden tournament, you know what I mean? That's crazy, Yeah.
So speaking of esports, tonight we had Golden Boy on commentary for the pre-show and the main show, joining Excalibur and Jim Ross.
Real quick, this match, Nakazawa won.
Yes,
it was
Nakazawa
a rematch.
won.
It was a rematch from last year.
They
did that match at last year's. It was called. What was it called last year? Not Fyter Fest. It was called something else. But
gotcha. So Jabali had poorly wrestled before. So let's talk about Golden Boy. I liked his commentary tonight. He's an esports guy. My favorite moment was during the pre-show. I think it was during this match or maybe the first one where something happened. And he said, "Oh, that was a total dick move." And I was like,
that was good.
Why don't people talk like that on commentary more?
I agree, because it fit. It fit.
Yeah.
Didn't it? It was a stiff kick to the dude's spine, and it is dicky. That's what I used to say backstage. I'd see JBL do it. I'd see Fit do it. But that was dicky.
Right.
You were trying to get heat, and it was great.
Yeah. And Alex Marvez, I like his work as far as his writing and things like that.
Yeah.
But he's just not he's not fit for commentary. And he was not on the main show. The main show, it was Golden Boy, JR, and Excalibur. And I thought the commentary was way better than Double or Nothing.
It was. Although at times one of them would be yelling when Jim Ross was just like trying to call the action. Like Moxley got sent into the steps or something like that. And the guy, he's like, ah! And JR was trying to talk. He like talked all over JR. We'll get to it.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. So we're going to talk about the rest of the show, and if you're thinking this all sounds kind of mixed, it definitely gets better. But first, I want to do a quick thanks to the sponsor of this episode, which is Blue Chew. Guys, remember the days when you were always good to go? Back when your sex life was more like Lollapalooza, and let's face it, now it's like the Fyre Festival. It was more like the pre-show, and you got to get back on that main card. Blue Chew is going to help you get there, increase your performance, get that extra confidence in bed. BlueChew.com, blue like the color blue. They bring you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, the good stuff, the stuff that works, the stuff you need a doctor's prescription for, but Blue Chew makes it easy. No going to your doctor and saying, hey, doc, I'm having these problems, or hey, doc, I could use a little boost now and again. No, you do it all online. It's so simple. They ship it right to your door in a discreet package. And here's the best part. They are chewable, so you can take them anytime, day or night, even on a full stomach. And because they're chewable, they work up to twice as fast as a pill, so you can be ready whenever that opportunity arises. You've heard Raj talk about it. You've heard Matt talk about it. You've heard me talk about it. We'll spare you the gory details. Although some of you keep sending me DMs thinking you're funny with your Blue Chew experience photos. Guys, I don't need to see it. I'll take your word for it. It's all good. We all know that it works.
More. That's him begging for more. That's him begging for more.
No. But I'm just saying, if you're going to send them, at least, have it in the action part. I don't need to see like the solo shot. I'm just mild critique, minor note. Anyhow, it's not just for guys who can't perform. It's for any guy who would benefit from that extra confidence, that extra function to enhance their performance, give them that confidence in the bedroom. If you're one and done, you want round two, Blue Chew is the key. Prescribed online, shipped straight to your door in a discreet package. No in-person doctor's visit, no waiting in the pharmacy, no more awkwardness. Made in the USA. Prepared and shipped direct. Cheaper than a pharmacy. And a special deal for our listeners. Visit BlueChew.com. First shipment is free when you use our special promo code WINC. You just pay $5 shipping. Again, that's BlueChew.com, promo code WINC to try it free. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Wrestling Inc. podcast. Let's talk about the main card of Fyter Fest. Christopher Daniels versus Cima. Matt, what did you think of this match?
Awesome.
Yeah, it was good.
This was really good. What's there really to critique, right? I liked it an awful lot. I love JR's commentary.
Yeah, and it was exactly what it's supposed to be. Cima's going to be facing Kenny Omega at Fight for the Fallen in a couple weeks, so he should get the win here, and he did. And I thought they had a really fun opening match. It was a good way to open the show.
They did, and Jim Ross to me seemed very different tonight than he did last show. Not that he wasn't awesome last show, but this show tonight especially, he did a lot of homework. You could tell he did a lot of his research. He was talking about what's Daniel's false finisher, fallen angels, fallen wings, some angel wings, angel's wings, something like that.
Something like that.
It's a pretty decent false finisher. He was using TNA, and Jim Ross, not many people he called what it was, and it's like not many people kick out of that. You know what I mean? And I just thought that the little touch of that was pretty good.
Yeah, and also, both of these guys are older. Cima's 41. Christopher Daniels, he's in his 40s. I'm forgetting his exact age right now. So,
I'm 42, and he's way older than me. I almost want to say, is he 50?
He's 49. Yeah.
That's insane. God damn, Chris, you look awesome.
and for them to put on this kind of match, I thought it was very impressive.
Yes, it is. No matter what age. Chris is,
right.
Wow.
Yeah. He doesn't look it. He doesn't look nearly 50.
Dude, I'm trying to think where I'll be 7 years from now. There ain't no way in hell to be in a wrestling ring.
You look about 15 years younger tonight with that with the beard gone.
Baby butt face Morgan. Look at the butt face. Hashtag butt face. Yeah, dude, but 49, I couldn't even fathom. Like my body, I think would crumble.
Yeah.
To ashes.
So who won this match?
Cima.
Yeah. It was good. I was actually surprised by that result because I thought this could go either way. So it was
yeah, I didn't know he was wrestling Kenny next. I didn't know that either. So that's why
that makes sense.
It was a cool non-spoiler for me because I thought Daniels was going to win and go into it.
Yeah. And then that was followed by Yuka Sakazaki versus Rio versus Nyla Rose, women's triple threat match.
Right.
Matt, what did you think of this?
Not much.
Really?
Honest. It was. I didn't know. I like Nyla Rose. That's about it. Like I don't know anything about the other two.
I thought it was good. I thought they stood out because of that. I thought in the six woman Joshi match at Double or Nothing, the problem was if you weren't familiar with them, it was like just Joshi wrestlers doing a different style. Some of them had similar characters. I thought tonight they stood out more against someone like Nyla.
They did. But again, who they are, why are they in the ring?
Yeah. So let's talk about that. I'm sorry, Matt. To your point, were you surprised at the lack of videos hyping these matches tonight? I feel like we got almost nothing as far as story building.
Yes, but let me ask a question. How are we supposed to perceive this show, though? This wasn't like a big pay-per-view, right? Isn't this supposed to be, I've heard someone describe it as a middle-of-the-road show. I don't know what that necessarily means. I take it as not even an off-brand WWE pay-per-view. I would take it as an in-your house, maybe?
Almost like an episode of Raw. In a sense, you know?
Okay.
So coming into it, that's what I thought it was too, Raj. Something like that. So I don't know how to judge it based on that. Though. I mean, I would like that video package just so I can know who these people were.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Because just in general, you kind of, but they did that for the bigger matches with the Jon Moxley stuff.
Oh, no, they did. Just for this match alone. I mean, I didn't know the other two girls. Nyla Rose, I did.
Yeah, and they didn't do a good job kind of explaining their backgrounds and things like that. But that being said, I actually really liked this match. There were some blown spots here and there, but I thought they did some really impressive stuff. The Nyla Rose from that top rope dropping that knee on, was it on Rio? I'm forgetting.
I believe it was on Rio.
Yeah.
Nyla Rose is a stud. I just wish we can go back in time and I could call my girl Awesome Kong and say, listen, don't go to the match. You're going to totally bury her. As the monster of that company in the female division.
Yeah.
And she's 0 for 2 so far. So Rio won tonight. I think Nyla to be dominant. They've got to give her some squash matches.
They do, and she's worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised with this one. I thought Nyla was going to win this match, but I like Rio, so it. We'll see where they go. And Rio's really talented, so we'll see. But I thought this match was really good.
Mm-hmm.
No, absolutely. And then we followed that with a hot fatal four-way. Adam Page versus MJF versus Jungle Boy versus Jimmy Havoc. Kip Sabian was on commentary. He's going to face the winner of this match. MJF did a promo. We didn't get a lot of in-ring promos tonight, so AJF's definitely stood out. And they gave him a couple minutes. Matt, how did his heel work measure for you tonight?
The kid's always I can't even call him a grand home run. He's a grand slam. The kid is a grand slam every time. He's a heat-seeking missile, and he is awesome. Video games, come on, video games.
And then there was that line, hey man, he was telling the crowd, I used to love video games too, and then I lost my virginity. Which I thought was just a pretty great line. He told the crowd, your mother's basement that you live in, she swallows. I mean, it was MJF is great. I mean, his mic work, he's got that poise. He doesn't sound forced. He sounds like he's just a real asshole. Mm-hmm. He's just great at this. I thought he's really entertaining, and I think it's good that he's not in the main event picture yet in that slot. Build him up more, let people get more familiar with him.
Jim Ross called it perfectly when him and Adam Page were having a stare down and started going blow for blow. He's like, these are the two guys this company is going to be built around, essentially.
Yeah,
because they will be.
Yeah.
He should be.
Yeah, and Adam Page, he's got the look, he's got everything. And so this was a part of the show where I felt like it started feeling bigger. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
yes. Jungle Boy, I thought, you know what? I didn't know anything about him before you guys told me. I was impressed with him to a degree. Yeah. He's different. He looks very, very different. You see what he tried to do on the outside? Like, by the way, he tried to do like a handstand, like an up and over. We call it an up and over. We usually do it in the corner of the ring, hand on rope, and you're doing up, and the guy comes flying into the turnbuckle underneath you, and you jump over him. Homeboy did that on the outside, and then tried to then do a flip from it, like a back flip somehow, while doing a handstand on that top turnbuckle to the outside, and he clipped. He looked like he got clipped there a little bit, but he still pulled it off. I was just like, holy crap. Like, I don't like put guys over just for one move, but that was impressive as hell. Luchasaurus, by the way, he's a good looking dude. They need to pull his mask off. He looks like a rock star. I looked him up online. I was like, why is this guy wearing a mask?
I had the exact same reaction.
Dude, listen, you don't throw him in a mask. He looks like a model. Like, he's perfect looking.
I had the same reaction. I'm glad you said it first. Audience, could you imagine Matt Morgan's reaction if I would have dropped that first on this podcast? Like, good looking guy. I looked up his photos.
Seriously.
No, he is. I agree with you 100%.
He looks like a rock star. But 6 foot what? I'm guessing 5'6".
He's a big dude. He was in WWE developmental.
What happened?
I forget exactly.
He can work. His kicks are freaking money.
Yeah. He's a big, imposing looking dude.
Especially with this company.
Yeah. So let me see if I can find out exactly.
I'm telling guys, he looks the part and then some. Like he's the whole package because I've seen him work and he can work.
Don't you think though, Matt? If I'm gonna have a critique, he is good looking, but he has sort of that generic big guy look. Like
he has long hair. He has long hair. It takes it away. He has long hair and tattoos. It takes it away. Okay. Nope. If he had my haircut, then yes.
So Austin Madelson, which is Luchasaurus, he made some serious allegations against Bill DeMott, and I think that had a lot to do with him leaving. So if you do a search on that on our site, you'll find all about it. But he had his issues with Bill DeMott.
He's athletic. He's really athletic as hell too. Back to the match though. I was gonna say, so Jungle Boy, I liked even the stuff he was doing before the match. You see how he's like crawling around the ring and doing this thing. I wish they would explain to us why he's Jungle Boy though. What makes him Jungle Boy?
Yeah.
There's an easy story to tell here. It's simply growing up in his father's shadow was a lot of pressure, and he ran away from home. No one saw him for, 20 years, let's say 18 years. Or whatever. How old is he? Probably 20. How old is he?
Yeah, he's young. I think, so he's right around there.
Let's say he ran away from home for 10 years or something like that. All right. He ran away like when he was 12 years old, let's say 13. No one heard from him, and we've seen, no one's seen him since, and he shows up like this, and he's now Jungle Boy. Where the hell was he? Well, he tells us a story. He was out in some crazy jungle or some crap like that. Something. If you're going to be called Jungle Boy, I want to know why. Yeah. If you're going to be dressed up as Tarzan's kid, I want to know why.
Yeah, again, to your point about videos and vignettes and things like that, I think they assume too much that everyone's familiar with the independent scene and a lot of these guys. And a lot of guys are seeing these guys for the first time.
But has it been explained why he's Jungle Boy?
No, that's what I mean. Like they should explain that. They should explain what Luchasaurus is. What is that? That it's this dinosaur gimmick. Just to get people who aren't that familiar, who are testing out the product for the first time. Otherwise, it's just confusing as hell if you don't really watch the independent scene and you're just testing it out. And yeah, to your point, what does that mean, Jungle Boy? Does that mean he can't speak and he was raised in a jungle? And
is he just dressed up as Tarzan's kid again? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Well, part of that's characterization, because so far his character just seems like he's just he's a likable guy, but he's just a guy. I haven't seen him kayfabe have a character.
He was crawling around the ring. You know what I mean? Like before the bell rung, and kind of like an animal, I guess, in a way. Right. Well,
what was that movie when we were kids? The Emerald Forest, where the kid ends up raised by the tribe, where there was a Jungle to Jungle with Tim Allen. Yeah. We need just like little vignettes like that to sort of explain. Something. I like your backstory for it.
And really quick though, you were laughing at my backstory.
No, I think it's good.
Yeah, I like it.
What do you guys think? What am I missing though with the other kid, the kid from England? Why does everybody?
Jimmy Havoc?
What am I missing? He's got 2 strings at the end of his shoulders that he's calling arms, dude. Don't wear a cutoff T-shirt, dude, if you don't have arms. Wear a T-shirt.
Because there's no one in wrestling, or there's not a lot of guys in wrestling that have that Trent Reznor look that looks like he could be in The Cure or Nine Inch Nails or Depeche Mode, doing that sort of that gothy
What
thing.
about Jimmy Jacobs? Didn't he do that?
I almost feel like too many people are doing that. We had
years ago when it was actually in vogue, when it was actually
Jimmy was more emo than goth, but I get what you're saying. Similar but different.
Dude, I don't know both, but both ended up with my hands around their ankles, them dumping them upside down in trash cans in my cafeteria in high school. But I'll digress. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
No, I get it. It's a little antiquated. He does a lot of deathmatch hardcore stuff. But it's Matt, to your point, it's the reason why he ate the pin in this, because they're clearly invested in MJF, Page, and Jungle Boy as being the upper mid card of AEW.
Okay. I don't know. I just don't buy his stuff. I just don't. When it's time for him to hit anything offensively, I'm like, dude, like he's got to be careful not to stab somebody with his damn arm. It's so damn skinny and bony. I'm not joking. There's nothing. I'm not saying everybody has to look super athletic. I would prefer them to, but I'd also prefer them to look like they've been in fights. And one could say, "What are you crazy, Matt? This dude's got scars all over him. Of course he looks like he's been in fights." No, he looks like he has lost a lot of fights. There's a difference between the two.
Yeah, and to your point about this gimmick, I feel like a lot of guys have this kind of character now, like the Dark Order and Darby Allin and Jimmy Havoc. It's all kind of. Oh, we missed the Dark Order.
We missed it. Well, you know what? And it's yeah,
it's kind of we missed it.
Yeah, that got over like a fart in church.
Yeah, that was terrible. Like that when I saw that, I was like, this is like WCW. This is like JCW Juggalo Championship Wrestling level shit.
And those guys are getting in the ring once they're allowed to go.
Sure.
That's one thing, but they're showing them like the crowd should be impressed, and the crowd did not give a shit.
Ooh, you turned off the lights. Ooh, haven't seen that before.
Right. Yeah, that's the problem. Is you've seen this with more impressive people. So
that's a good point.
Yeah.
That was bad. That was the low point, I think, of this pay-per-view.
Right.
Librarians were for me.
I don't know, man.
Those are two. Those were like kind of a toss-up. But for me, the Librarians had a lot more time, so I agree with that.
So Adam Page won this match. He pinned Jimmy Havoc, and that's good because Adam Page is facing Jericho at All Out for the AEW Championship. I thought this match did everything it needed to do. This hit all the notes, kept the momentum going, Matt.
Jim Ross had a good quote in there when he was trying to recover from saying that they listed him at 295 pounds during his entrance.
Oh, right.
And he goes, one of them recovered and said he walks to the ring like it. That's for sure. And he's like, yeah, he's got that BMF walk, doesn't he? And I was like, yes. I was like that's how you sell a main event star. That's still on the rise. Do you know what I mean? Like Jim, the greatest announcer of all time, is impressed with this guy and how he carries himself. That's important, in my opinion. And Adam Page screams main event star. And at one point in the match, he's like, you have one guy who's 27 years old, and MJF is only 23. And I'm going, wow, these guys are so ahead of their years. It's not even funny, especially MJF. But they were right to call these two the eventual future of this company. They should very slowly build around these two. Because Hangman Page is an amazing babyface. His body language, his moves. He doesn't go overboard with just doing flip-flop flying crap, flippy flops for the sake of it. When he hits his slingshot over the top rope and into a friggin' clothesline from hell and then some, like, it's athletic, but it's also stiff looking, and it needs to. He's just, I can't say enough good words about Page. I just think he's going to be huge.
Yeah. Jungle Boy, he's got a really cool look. Obviously his father's Luke Perry. He's a good-looking dude. Yeah. He's a little small, but he carries himself like like he's a star.
At least, he's 157 pounds, they announced, and I was like, but at least, you know what? He has abs. He looks athletic, and he is athletic. So there's a difference right there between someone who wants to say, well, why'd you give Jimmy Havoc a break? I mean, not everyone's going to be jacked. I don't want them to be jacked. I want them to look like an athlete or someone who can win in a fight against a fan.
Well, tonight's match did what it needed to do, especially for MJF and Adam Page. I think Jungle Boy, I could see him in Luchasaurus with the accompaniment. I think in the tag division, they would definitely be standouts if they put them there for a while.
He'll be jumping off his shoulders and stuff. Cool stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be very shocked now that you say that if they weren't in that tournament. It would be interesting to see how far they get in that if they don't have singles plans for either of them in the near future. We went from that into Cody versus Darby Allin. I
did my research on Darby Allin before the match.
What did you think of Darby, Matt?
I like that biography, do we call it? Documentary they did on him on YouTube. I saw a bunch of different ones, Janela's too. But Darby Allin, holy crap, this dude. And Jim Ross made him tonight, by the way. Made him. He was in the middle of getting his ass kicked in the middle of the match. And Jim Ross like, you know what? Who's to say he doesn't like it?
Yeah.
He's like, I think he likes it. And I was like, dude, that's Mick Foley 101 right there. He's going to right now. He's going to Mankindville right now. And making this kid who's getting his ass handed to him at one point in that match, it got brutal. And was making him in the moment as the kid was selling. Oh my God. Again, I just feel like I'm going to be repeating myself now for this part to the rest of the show, but I continue to say, oh my God, this kid was athletic as hell. Because he's so damn, he's gifted as heck. If he doesn't die, with some of the things he tries to do. You know,
Yeah.
Did you see the bump up to the damn side of the damn ring?
Oh yeah.
God.
I yelled out loud. I took my phone with me to the gym, and I was doing cardio watching a majority of this, and I literally stopped my cardio, ripped my headphones out, and was covering my face like this, going, "What the fuck? What?"
What about when he missed the turnbuckle and went into the barrier?
Oh my god! Okay, that was cool, but I'm telling you that back bump from the top, you guys, of the turnbuckle to the side of the ring, you guys, I can't explain to you how hard that is. It's like it's worse than the floor, I would argue, because it's sharp. He caught his shoulder. If you watch it in slow mo, he didn't hit that perfectly flat. His right shoulder just was off the mat. So that means he kind of like speared himself with the corner of that mat in the center of his spine. I'm like, how the hell is he walking? How is he not dead right now? How is he not paralyzed? What the hell?
That looked brutal. Yeah, that was brutal. But I will say this: I felt like
him. For the record, I like him.
Yeah, and I felt like he kind of made himself into a star tonight.
Yes, he did.
I'm not in favor of wrestlers doing that all the time, but you know, this was kind of his star-breaking performance, and to do sometimes you got to do crazy stuff like that. But he looked like a star. His story, you believe, you know, all these wrestlers have that. You know, there's so many wrestlers that have that dark character now, but you believe it with him. I mean, he's believable, and you hear his backstory, and you're like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, it's like some superhero shit.
Right. Well, he was in the car accident with his uncle, who was drinking and driving when he was 5, and his uncle died. I mean, you know, it's just a wild story. So.
It is. And let me just say real quick, kudos to Cody Rhodes for taking the match versus him. By the way, Cody, again, similar to Moxley, doesn't have to do that. Could just cash in checks after check after check on the indies and make a great living and call it a day. This is how you build a company. This is exactly how you build a company.
Yeah. Matt, I'm sorry, Raj.
I was going to say this was one of those cases where Cody dominated the match. He's a lot bigger than Darby Allin. Darby Allin is probably kind of similar to size as Jungle Boy. Yeah, you know, he's a smaller guy
too. By the way, he's in shape.
Super fast, super athletic. The match told a great story. Cody could not put him away. You know, they were doing the time limit stuff, which I love because it makes it feel more like a real sport. So, you know, at 10 minutes or like 10 minutes left, and Cody could not put him away, and it came down to the end. Cody almost had him, and boom, time limit expired. You know, and so
on the 2 count.
On the 2 count. So it was like 1, 2, time limit expired before you could hit 3. But yeah, man, I thought, you know, it did what it was supposed to do. It was a draw, which I was surprised. I thought for sure Cody was winning this. And I felt like you made a new guy with Darby.
This kid is a star. I mean, and Matt, speaking of it, like this guy, you could tell he still looks a little bit like a kid, but you could tell he's going to grow into a very handsome man. I mean, he's like, 21, 22. So when he gets a little older, I think, I mean, he's only been doing this for like 3 years or something absurdly, not that long. Did you watch, and this was my only disappointment, he wrestled Moxley on the indies last weekend. And in that match, like he had his hands tied behind his back and he was doing suicide dives. Like, watch that match, Matt. Like,
I will now. Okay.
This kid is going to be something else. And I think what's great, to your point, it's great to give it a draw tonight, but with him, you can do an epic losing streak where it's just punishment. It's what he gets off on, you know, just like taking it to the limit. I think it's probably going to push the limits even more than Janela and Moxley did tonight of what TNT is going to be comfortable with.
I agree with that. But he's good enough where he doesn't have to do all that stuff either because he is uber fast. Raj, like you said. Like Jim Ross said, he's quicker than a hiccup. That's his famous line that he uses for Shelton Benjamin all the time. But he's faster than that. He's that fast. Holy crap. Like Kenny Omega, I always thought was the fastest wrestler I've seen with my own eyes. How he hits the ropes and everything. Especially when it's a V-trigger, he is lightning quick. But this kid is quicker.
And I thought Cody did a great job in this match of just his poise and just kind of coming across as kind of a dick, putting Darby Allin in his own body bag. Just kind of like subtle heel stuff, but not over the top where it didn't seem cartoony. Between this and the Moxley match in the main event, these two were kind of my favorite things on the show.
Yeah. This match, at first I was like, why would Cody take this? You know what I mean? Not to sound like a jerk, but I'm like, you know, Cody's a huge star. And I was like, well, of course he did because he's trying to build the company. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's why he's Cody Rhodes, you know, and I'm Matt Morgan. You know what I mean? Because I had that same thinking that I had back when I was in WWE. And once you leave there, I don't want to call it arrogance, but you have a certain air about you when you go other places. You really shouldn't, right? Because it's all the same thing. It's all wrestling in between those ropes, and it's a work, and you're trying to tell good stories. And for me, it took me about a good year to shake that attitude that I had from WWE and be fully vested in TNA wrestling for me. But he's building a company. He literally is a huge building block, and he created a star tonight. So did Jim Ross.
No, it was fantastic. The body bag spot was excellent. There was a lot to love in this match. I can't wait to see who Cody's going to face at All Out. But it looks like after tonight, because after this match, Shawn Spears attacked Cody, and we'll talk about
I'm sure that's it. I'm sure it's going to be Cody versus Shawn Spears.
And do you guys know why Shawn Spears attacked Cody tonight?
He's his buddy.
Well, there was this line that Cody said in one of the it was one of the
Road to Fyter Fest,
right, where he said they're talking about hiring Shawn Spears, and Cody made because Shawn also tweeted it after the show tonight. But it's this line where Cody says that Shawn, he's a good hand, but he's not a star. But he's good to have in the company as like a coach or trainer, but he's not a star. And taking that bit,
he said that. I wonder if that was a word from the get-go then.
Yeah, I'm sure.
They're boys. He wouldn't say that about him in real life.
Right. No, we just signed this guy, but he's not going to be a star.
Right. And this is one of those cases where, the people that saw it, they know, and down the line, more people will know. But this is one of those cases where sometimes you do need to clue the announcers in a little bit, so they could have told that story. They could have told the audience that, Shawn Spears, Cody hired him, said he would make a great trainer and coach. Why is he doing this to him? And then the other announcer could be like, well, that's the thing.Maybe he didn't want to be just a good trainer or coach. Maybe he feels neglected by Cody.
I would have made him tweet it immediately after he whipped his ass, and then then the announcers talk about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay? Yeah. And in between matches.
Yeah.
Go to the tweet and then refer to the tweet. It shows you're using social media and all that other crap that people get off on. And by the same token, it forwards the story.
So, unprotected headshot with the chair from Shawn Spears to Cody. Now, I'm assuming he bladed. Cody did. He was bleeding from the back of his head. If you watch the replay, where he was bleeding from doesn't look like where he was hit. So I don't think it was a legit injury caused by that. AEW was very quick to issue a photo that just said, what was it, 12 stitches, no concussion. They issued that maybe about 10 minutes, 15 minutes after the match ended. But what I thought was interesting on commentary, JR and the guys were talking about CTE, and we're talking about the old age effects of unprotected shots to the head and brain damage.
They need to do that. Like, I'm part of sports SLI. Where you're doing it, your brain is science, and that's true. You feel like it's your prerogative, it's your job to start diarrhea the mouthing about what we now know about concussions with pro wrestling, right? It's like this weird trigger that goes off anytime someone brings it up. To put in perspective, I've actually brought it up during commission meetings here in Longwood, quite honestly, when I was trying to raise money for my football team, getting those anti-concussion helmets. But it makes everybody very passionate. Everyone's very passionate about it. But I know exactly what you're saying. Why would you be talking about that when we just saw them break that rule?
Yeah.
That code that we now have amongst one another, never swinging a chair over anyone's head. It's just not worth it. Was that business worth it? No business is worth it. No matter who it's with. I don't care if it's Hulk Hogan. It's not. There's many other things we can do without doing that. I'm not going to chastise them for it. Part of me knows that Cody's incredibly intelligent, and I know he was trying to be as helpful as possible to get his boy over in breaking that code, which is supposed to get him more heat. I get why he did it, but still.
Yeah, it did stand out because they don't do it anymore. I mean, I think the last time I saw it on WWE was, I think Triple H and Undertaker did it in one of their WrestleMania matches and got fined because that's when it was banned. I hate those. I hate the shots to the head. But that being said, when they did it and they made it a big deal, I was glad that at least they made it a big deal. And the announcers sold it like it was a huge deal and talked about they don't know what's going to happen. And they sold it for a while.
One of the things, Raj, I never understood was, I used to tell you guys this, I remember taking a chair shot from Bob Holly, who was coming back from injury, and they were setting him up to eventually get his revenge and work Brock. if you guys remember.
Mm-hmm.
And to do that, he would go through like me. He'd have to wrestle me or Nathan Jones, and then A-Train, and then Big Show in order to get to him. Anyways, Kurt Angle's wrestling Nathan Jones. He had Nathan Jones an ankle lock. I come running in, power bomb the hell out of Kurt Angle and interrupt the match. Bob Holly comes, jumps the guardrail, takes his friggin' chair, and waffles me right over the friggin' dome with it. Hits me in the back again, over the dome again. And I just turned around like an idiot and fed like this. And just walked forward like this into his chair shot. And I remember watching it back and going, okay, so I earned my stripes backstage with the guys going, wow, Morgan's tough. He could take chair shots. And he took a hell of a waffle one, too. And then I'm watching it and going, well, but that doesn't look realistic. I would never do that in a reactionary method. Somebody's at a bar when I used to bounce, and a dude took a beer bottle, no joke, and tried to hit me over the head with it. I remember I would do that, So I don't understand why guys' hands would not always be up. It doesn't make you a wuss for doing it. It makes it realistic. You would never just sit there and put your head down and go, right here, there you go.
Well, hardest part of the human body. I mean, isn't there
in a real fight, if you saw someone with a chair in their hand, they're going to hit you over the head, Glenn, would you put your hands down by your side and just do?
No, I agree. But that isn't that. I mean, so if you're thinking about in terms of damage, though, I mean, once you get your wrist broken, if you put your hand up and intercepted that the wrong way, you would
sell your hand. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting they went there tonight and they did this. Now, SCU, other people came out to Cody's side when he was on the floor bleeding after this. MJF muscling his way in there to cradle Cody's head. Small details. I can't wait.
BFF. That's his BFF.
I think by fall they're going to.
Coaster. What's it called?
Yeah, roller coaster. Yeah.
Roller coaster.
When they turn on each other, that's going to be a great feud. When they break up that bromance. But we went from that match
and Cody was bleeding from the back of his head.
Oh yeah.
He was bleeding from the side that it appeared he was bleeding from the side that wasn't hit by the chair. So.
Just so you guys normally know, it's not normal to blade the back of your head or the side of your head.
Yeah.
It's just not, we don't do that. I've never done that. So I don't, I have to go back and watch it.
Yeah.
See if I can catch it doing it.
I mean, calculated move, right? They were sending a message. I think overall this show tonight was sending a message that this is not PG or PG-13 era.
Yes, it's not WWE. They kind of are taking everything that WWE does and kind of flipping it a little bit, like having the square ring post as opposed to round ring posts and pyro and blood and thumbtacks and
Those square posts I'm telling you guys right now, those are trouble, because when a guy they didn't do it much tonight, but the normal setup where you give a guy a turnbuckle, you can shoot him off into the turnbuckle and you charge and the guy moves and I go for shoulder tackle or spear rather, and you go flying through the second one and hit your shoulder on that post. You could clip, not only tear it, you could actually put a hole right in it. Yeah. Because it's sharp. It's the sharp edge of that square that hits you. It's dangerous.
They didn't have that for Double or Nothing, did they? Or was
I never noticed it because nobody took a buckle a post that I saw.
Yeah,
TNA had him. I hated him.
Yeah, there was stuff that could have gone wrong tonight when Darby went out through that corner spot through the ropes because he's so damn small. I mean, if his head had been a couple inches to the right or left, he would have hit that steel bottom of the barrier.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Scary stuff. But we assume these guys know what they're doing. Then we had Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks dressed as Ryu, Ken, and Akuma from Street Fighter against Pentagon Jr., Phoenix, and the Laredo Kid. Matt, what'd you think of this match?
The match was awesome, obviously. You knew it would be. They're usually my favorite guys right here, all three of them for that matter. As far as in-ring, action goes, these are my three favorite usually. But the match was awesome. I just, what's annoying is getting annoying to me is what's his name? Pentagon? What's his name?
Pentagon Jr.?
Pentagon Jr. His no fear crap, that's getting so tacky. He does it 35,000 damn times a match. It's annoying. I'm sorry. It is what it is. It's annoying. Get a different catchphrase on top of it, or just keep that one, but just don't do it 39 times.
Yeah.
Because it makes the opponent look like an idiot standing there. I thought Kenny looked stupid, letting him mush him in the face like that. F that. I would have booted his teeth down his throat if he did that to me. I know it's a work, but I'm saying as my character, you just can't take that, especially as a baby face.
Yeah.
Makes you look like a punk.
Yeah.
I boot his mask right off his face. But what I'm saying though is the match itself though was phenomenal. It was awesome. But what did you think, Raj, of their shtick? You know, wearing the gear that they wore, the Street Fighter stuff. Does that take away, in your opinion, their I don't know. I don't want to say no one thinks they're badasses, obviously, but does it take away from them being like wrestlers and tough?
Like feeling like top guys.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think so. Especially Kenny Omega. I feel like Young Bucks is kind of their shtick a little bit. I feel like Kenny Omega is one of the top stars in the company. I mean, you're not going to have, Roman Reigns dress up like Mario, just because they're
difference though. Come on.
But you know what I mean? Like cosplaying, it's just not like what I picture a top star doing. I wouldn't picture Conor McGregor doing that.
Look at it this way: the people that are wrestling purists. Let's use Jim Cornette, for example, and you know how much he hates this type of wrestling, right? Or these guys, for just to be honest. One of his biggest complaints, and other wrestling purists' complaints, are these are just kids playing cosplay out there. And I'm like, no, they're not. They're freaking they're athletic as hell. They're killing themselves out there athletically. And moving the business forward, in my opinion, in pacing of matches as well. They're the evolution of the business, quite frankly, in my opinion, Young Bucks. Yeah. I'm a huge fan of them, though, so I'm biased. But it lends credence when people want to call them cosplay dress-up wrestlers by literally dressing up as you guys are your own brand. Don't be ever doing anything other than who you are, which is your brand. Does that, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to dress up as nobody. You guys are super over. Just be, you know what I mean?
And again, they didn't make it, unless you're a video game fan, they didn't make it clear what this event is about. And so I'm sure to people that aren't aware of the video game tie-in, they're just like, what the hell are these guys wearing? Why are they dressed like this? And why are they dressing like Street Fighter guys?
And I didn't pick up on Kenny Omega's, and I played Street Fighter. I didn't know what the hell was I missing. Who the hell was he?
Akuma was the secret rumored character in Street Fighter 2. He's supposedly like Ryu's mentor. He was in the later Street Fighter Special Edition.
But dude, he wasn't the main dude, though.
No, he wasn't one of the original 8 or 12.
Well, I'm sorry. If you're gonna go do these references, you have to be. Then you have. If you're gonna go all the way in, then you gotta do it that way. You can't do it with secret hidden characters and crap like that. Next, you're gonna tell me that someone's gonna dress up as like Super Mario Green 1-Up mushroom. You know what I mean, or what?
I think that'd be pretty over. Well, remember actually,
you're Mario or you're Luigi. You're not the damn one-up
Bowser, Princess Peach. Remember when Zelina Vega dressed up as Vega from Street Fighter? She had the mask. That was awesome.
Yeah, but that was actually at the convention, right? It was at the video game thing, not in the ring.
Zelina did that for a match. She did her entrance. I think she had that, didn't she?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
Might have
I think Ronda Rousey wore it one time.
Oh, she did the Sonya because she voiced Sonya in the new Mortal Kombat. Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
And they really explained that on commentary.
Yeah, they
did. Which someone tweeted it, so this is even geekier for you two, because Penta and Phoenix and Laredo, oh man, if they just would have tweaked their color schemes, they could have looked like Sub-Zero, Scorpion, and Reptile from Mortal Kombat, and Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat would have been awesome.
Okay, but those 3 characters you just gave me are mainstays from Mortal Kombat. I even know who they are.
Well, Ken and Ryu are like the big ones, but Akuma, yes, he's a little obscure. I agree.
Yes, I'm not lying to you. I played Street Fighter. I didn't know who the hell he was.
Yeah,
everyone's saying.
I played Street Fighter on the old Nintendo. I didn't really know each character. I knew Sub-Zero and Mortal Kombat, but not the others. But I mean, we digress. The match itself, really fun, awesome stuff. But it's also what you'd expect from these guys. You wouldn't expect anything different. You got what you expected.
The bar is so high with them. You know what I mean? It really is so high. And again, I go back to Bucks continue to. I'm not just saying this for my boys, but they continue to evolve. Tandem offense and tag team wrestling like we've never seen, in my opinion. And Omega, just watch his bursts of speed out there. Again, it's different level stuff, man. It just is. And you know what's crazy? And it's the scariest part to me about Kenny Omega, and it hit me tonight at the very end, and we'll get to it, about his gear change they had him finally get to tonight, which was awesome versus Moxley. And that's the fact that he still does not know who he is. Do you hear me? This dude who's putting on 6-star matches in New Japan, okay, and awesome. My top 3, 5 favorite wrestlers right now. Omega is still we don't know who he is yet. He does not know who he is yet in that ring. You know what I'm talking about?
Fair.
His wrestling does not match his promos yet. His promos don't match his wrestling, I should say.
Yeah.
He talks very, hey guys, how are you? Good evening. Welcome to a wonderful edition of professional wrestling tonight. Now let me bid you adieu. Like he talks very different, right? Not in a good way, in a way that he's still figuring out who the hell he is as a persona in that ring, or Kenny Omega cranked all the way up. And that's scary because he's considered widely, but I'm saying this in a positive manner, he's considered the best wrestler in the world. A lot of people think that. A lot of people think this. And I'm one of them. And he still does not have the character stuff down yet. Like, can you imagine where this kid is going to be? This guy's going to be like another 2-3 years from now.
Yeah.
He's going to be on it. I'm just telling, oh my God.
And I will say this with Omega and his promos, I thought he showed a ton of promise and really strong promo work with his feud with Tanahashi last year. He cut some great promos on that, just making it seem like Tanahashi's old, out of touch. So you're definitely starting to see it. He can do it. So it's just, like to your point, Matt, just tweaking that character.
When he's in heel mode, yes.
Yeah. So a lot of people are saying Akuma is very popular.
And Zelina Vega did dress as Vega for the Royal Rumble.
At the Royal Rumble. So there you go. Akuma. Who
Guys, listen, chat room. I just got done telling this dude's one of my favorite wrestlers. So trust me, I ain't grabbing on for the sake of it. I'm doing it because I want mainstream fans to watch this show and this show to blow up.
Because a lot of people
in WWE.
Yeah, a lot of people stopped playing video games when they lost their virginity, right?
According to MJF.
Eat that chat room. I'm joking.
Yeah, I mean, it's not Fortnite. That's all I'm saying. But no. Yeah, well, everyone knows Fortnite. Yeah, everybody send your Akuma memes to Matt Morgan on Twitter at BP Matt Morgan.
I won't check my Twitter. How about that?
Send to Instagram.
You guys will not send to Glenn's direct messages from using Blue Chew, I bet. You guys won't do it.
The dare.
You guys will never do it. You guys don't have the you-know-what to send Glenn you-know-what pictures.
We stop during the audience.
This is on Twitter. You can play this game, Glenn.
Because you know when someone's not following you on DMs, it's like it won't show you the media. You have to click to see what it is.
I did
yeah, that's a very scary game to play. Very scary game to play.
I don't check Twitter enough. I'm on Instagram too much.
Yeah. So what I was gonna say though, so it's good that Omega pinned the Laredo Kid tonight because I think after his narrow loss to Jericho, Omega needed that win, and I thought that was a very good outcome to this match with Omega and the Bucks winning.
Nothing compared to what he did at the end of the show, though. But
but it helped though. You know what I mean? Like I think just to give him a win.
It's Omega's first win in AEW. So
yeah. Right. And then we had the main event, an unsanctioned match, which was kind of weird how they did this. They were like, "Oh, we're going to turn off the lights." Oh, sorry, Matt.
Really quick, we have to put this over real quick. How about I know we'll be here all night, but this show, I love this show and I love these guys. Did you see Nick Jackson go to walk the top rope? Kind of stumbled, but caught himself and got back up on there. And what was it, Laredo Kid, or was it the other one? Penta's brother. Run across the top rope, jump up, snatch him. Did you guys see that? They were all on the top rope toward the end of the match.
It looked like the ropes were a little loose or something.
They were. They trust me. If one of the Jacksons are slipping on it, it is. But like, holy crap! Like, what in the hell? And they did the. I know what it was.
He caught
up the Spanish Fly. Holy crap, guys! I'm telling you, as a wrestler, this is why I love this company. I love this style of wrestling. And a lot of us on peers like, how could you like that? There's no psychology. There is psychology, but one thing I will say. If they could slow it down at times, they now need to start watching the shows back and listen to how Jim Ross calls the action and allow certain things going forward to breathe a little better. There was one point where Jim Ross, 3/4 through the match, was really trying to put over not Matt, but Nick Jackson, if you heard him. And as he was trying to do that, like 3 things happened, including a V-trigger. And so like you guys got to watch and listen to his commentary. I'm talking to the Bucks, and start to place your things, and vice versa. Jim Ross is going to be able to maybe pick it up as well while doing those types of analogies and moving these guys forward and getting them over, because that's a huge part. You bring Jim Ross in to help get you over. Let's just be clear. And he's trying to do it. You got to let him do it, though.
Hey, guys, real quick. I'll be right back. I'm getting some stuff about from the scrum after the event. So I'll be right back. Yeah,
go ahead, buddy. But do you know what I mean, Glenn? Mm-hmm. It was just like, every wrestler's like dream is to have Jim Ross call their stuff.
Sure.
And Jim's in a tough spot as well, because he's never called. Well, New Japan, he's called their stuff, but these guys have got to give him a chance to get their stuff over. And he was going to bat hard. He was about to, on quite frankly, the young buck that, in my opinion, they don't talk enough about. They talk about both guys, but if you ever notice, it's more about Matt. Yeah. Between the two, in my opinion. And Nick was starting to get some shine, and it just got stepped on because of like 3 back-to-back insane moves, you know?
Yeah.
So it's quite a double-edged sword. They got to figure that out.
I thought Jim's commentary overall tonight was better, but he's still struggling with some stuff. So he made some unfortunate remarks during the women's match, some awkward remarks during Darby Allin, where like Seattle, Kurt Cobain kept going like, yep, there's something wrong with this kid. I mean, you could just tell like he's still sort of getting, I think, a sense of who a lot of these people are. And I feel he's got to step it up a bit. I feel like in New Japan, not to crap on his commentary, but, you know, he wasn't there all the time. He was doing a lot of stuff remotely with that match, I think.
And that's what I was actually pleased with Jim Ross in AEW. I thought he's already done more. In my opinion, he looks like he's trying way more.
Yeah.
Way more.
I thought Excalibur was good, but yeah, Golden Boy tonight, I thought really added to the commentary. I would keep him as part of the team if they could, but apparently he's very famous in the esports world, which, Matt, that's where I feel like it's like, I know a bit about video games because we're talking about esports and all this stuff. It's like, I know who Ninja is on Twitch, and that's about it. You know, I don't really follow a lot of that anymore. I used to follow it a lot. Happiest day of my life. On the Nintendo Switch, they just added Punch-Out for free on the virtual Nintendo console. So I'm playing Punch-Out late at night.
Not Tyson's Punch-Out, just regular Punch-Out?
No, that's still the version without Tyson. You know, he did some things that maybe Nintendo was like, maybe not the best guy to feature in a video game.
Wait, what'd you say? Punch-Out?
On the Nintendo Switch, on the virtual console.
I got to get that. Punch-Out was my favorite game growing up.
But not Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
It's got Mr. Dream at the end.
Well, I love the arcade Punch-Out too, where you were the green guy.
Yeah, not that. It's still the Mike Tyson's version, but just with Mr. Dream or whatever at the end instead of Tyson.
Oh, Mr. Sandman?
No, Mr. Sandman's there. He's in it. Yeah, they just
Super Macho
Tyson.
Man. You mean
Super Macho Man was the second to last guy.
Yeah, so they just replaced Tyson. That's all.
Okay. Soda Popinski in it.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
All the original Glass Joe, Piston Honda. I know.
Are we on the main event yet?
We were about to start talking about it, Raj.
Okay, so Nick did ask Tony Khan after the event. He talked to Tony Khan. Tony Khan did about 30 minutes with the media. Asked him about that chair shot that Cody took, and Tony, I guess, said that it was supposed to be gimmicked and something didn't work. That something didn't happen, but so I guess Cody maybe was supposed to put his hand up or something. It didn't happen, but we'll have all that video and stuff coming up here on Wrestling Inc. here in a little bit.
And to be clear, putting your hand up is a normal reaction. You're not a wimp for not putting your hands up. It sells it, in my opinion, more. You would never turn around and walk toward a chair with your hands down by your side and do. I did it a million times because I'm proving my stripes to the veterans in the back. When I come back there, they're going to give me a pat on the back and go, wow, man, that was stiff, man. You took a stiff shot. I feel like such an idiot now, but.
Yeah.
The
main event, unsanctioned. So how do you think about how the positioning of this, Matt, where they said, we're going to turn off the lights and then Fyter Fest is over, but we have another match for you. It's just we're not responsible.
And you still have the announcers and all the lighting and entrance music and everything.
Camera guys are still there.
I didn't care. I'll be honest. I was excited to see Moxley.
Yeah. Oh, huge pop. So
it didn't bother me. It should have, but it didn't.
Yeah. So Janela came out. The Moxley came out. Huge pop. And we had this match that had tables, had ladders, and barbed wire. Copious amounts of barbed wire. Thumbtacks on bare feet, which is where I was like, okay, I'm starting to draw the line. What I'm comfortable with here.
Oh, my God.
This was
Dude,
insane.
This was insane. And then some. Again, this is a former W superstar. He doesn't have to do. You see the bumps he took? You see,
Yeah.
he went through barbed wire. He landed in tax himself in his own finish. Like, he is. You want to talk about passion? He screams passion for pro wrestling. He does. He screams it. You know what I'm talking about? Again, this dude can ride off into the sunset right now with the money he's made over the years. He's good to go, right? He's like, F it, and have fun. I want to have fun again. To me, this is fun. It's telling a story, and I'm not too cool for school to not only get this other kid over even more, but to put myself in jeopardy. I mean, you do have to kind of be careful, though. You know, if I was to talk to him, be careful because you don't want to get injured, obviously. You want to be able to have a successful career without getting hurt prematurely so early in your run with AEW. But oh my God, I was so impressed with Moxley. So impressed by what he's willing to give. You know what I mean? Again, like Cody, these guys get it. And this is why this company will be successful. Mark my words, it will be successful because you have top talents that want to get others over. They're unselfish. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing.
That's great.
Yeah. And a minor thing, but something I think bears noting is that Moxley's ring gear looks so much better than the stuff he used to, the jeans and the t-shirt that he used to wear before.
Dude, he's in awesome shape. Yeah. He looks like $1 million right now. And why can't he come up through the audience, though? I think he's just as much claim on that as any of the other Shield members would coming out from the crowd.
Plus, the AEW debut was through the crowd. So.
I think he needs to they can play the music on the screen all they want. That's cool. He has cool music. He has really cool video package, too, for his ring entrance. But still, come through the crowd, dude. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's yours. In my opinion, I always thought of him when it comes to that.
Yeah. Oh, man, this match was just nuts. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. It's just insane. Joey Janela, they set up this tall ladder, and he did this elbow from the top of the ladder to the outside onto Moxley, who was laid out over 2 tables. The thumbtacks we talk about, Jon Moxley opened a bag of thumbtacks, dropped Joey Janela on his feet on it. The finish of the match,
took his boots off.
Yeah, he took off Janela's boots and his socks.
Awesome.
And then first he side suplexed him onto the tacks, and then dropped him feet first onto the tacks, which was just brutal. I cringed at that.
Oh my! Just that I cringed this entire match. The barbed wire stuff, especially.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Joey Janela did a great job though on one of his barbed wire bumps. He over rotated and landed on his ass through the barbed wire table.
Yeah.
It's genius because he can land on his ass, and yes, it's still gonna hurt. It's not like he felt good doing that, guys. It still hurts. His barbed wire going through his gear into his butt and his legs, and it hurts. But it's better than your bare back. And I just said bareback. But do you know what I'm saying? Like that was smart. And I just thought Joey did a great job. And Joey got over tonight just by giving the middle finger on 2 different occasions tonight while he was getting his ass handed to him. That he's a sick, crazy mother effer. And I dug it. I like Joey Janela a lot. And I thought he got even more over tonight. Again, there was more business to be had. He got 2 guys over tonight because he being Moxley, because after all the match was done, he hit what is he calling now? Not Dirty Deeds, but what does he call his finisher?
They just kept saying DDT.
No, they called it.
I thought they called it something. Guys in the chat.
Paradigm shift. He hit the paradigm shift on the tacks for 1, 2, 3. The finish. He won. Moxley was your winner, and Kenny Omega came out and whipped his ass and put it on him. He put it in. He was in 6th gear, I would even argue. And this is the side of Kenny Omega I want to see more of. No funny ha-ha, not trying to be cutesy, but ass kicker Kenny Omega. And it was awesome. It was awesome. And again, kudos to Moxley, huge star, makes so much money. He's good to go. He can retire right now, guys. And put it all out there and let him and really helped give the business back, give the receipt back to further their story. And closing out the show, he's still smiling, while he just got his ass kicked. It was phenomenal. It was like Joker. It totally reminded me of Joker from Batman.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, Moxley just laughing as the show went off the air after taking that beating from Omega. Like the Darby Allin Cody match, I felt like this did a lot for Joey Janela fans that weren't that familiar with him. It raised his stock a lot. So, and yeah, Moxley got the win as he should have. And he was pretty dominant in this match as well, but it still gave Joey a lot.
Did you ever think you'd see Moxley in this match tonight go through a barbed wire table?
No.
Or any table? I didn't think he'd do any of that.
Yeah, that was his old CZW days, I thought, but it's back. Yeah,
dude, I can't say that enough. I cannot compliment that enough. Him and Cody both.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Jericho is the same way. They give, and this is why this company is going to be. I'm telling you, is going to be around unless something unforeseen happens. My opinion, they're going to eventually be big competition for WWE, and I mean that. I mean big competition. Not right off the bat, but it will get there, and it's going to get there by these actions, by your top stars getting it and understanding they're not marks for themselves. And no, I'm not okay with that, brother. You know what I mean? None of that crap happens here. It's how can I get this kid over? What can I do? Oh, I'll go through a barbed wire. Do you know what I mean? It's just like he doesn't have to do that. None of them do.
Yeah. And
I'm just impressed by that. I really am.
I mean, this is the extent that Moxley doesn't want to put up with Vince McMahon shit anymore. That, to him, this is a good time.
Dude, it's awesome to watch. I love it.
Yeah, great show. A really fun show.
Yes.
So we have some other news to talk about.
Real quick, let me ask you guys, if you have to rate this from 1 to 10, what would you guys rate it?
It's not fair because let's say AEW's 10. I'm sorry, it's much bigger than a WWE's 10, in my opinion. Except for WrestleMania's 10, obviously. I take that back. but Raw's 10 because Raw's so putrid. It just is.
Right.
That we give them a 7. I just phone it in and always say 7.5 because it's just what we always say they're at. We always give them a C-, basically, sometimes D+. Mm-hmm. But with these guys, AEW, oh my God, I mean, they continue to, for me, raise that bar. They continue to get. I'm more impressed with each show. So I'm giving them 100. I'm giving them an A++. I love the night show.
Wow.
All around, yeah, hell yeah. I was super entertained by this show. And I told you, Moxley, what he did tonight alone, I would have paid full ticket price for that.
Yeah, I'm going to give it an 8, but kind of to your point, Matt, it's not like when I give Raw an 8. It's not an equal scale. But I thought it was a strong show. It didn't have results were mostly predictable. But it was a strong show. It was fun to watch. It got better and better as the show went on and peaked. And I thought it was great.
And for the fans watching this, the guys that tune in and follow this along, let's be clear. I'm giving them a rating, and so is Raj, and I'm sure Glenn too, to some degree, without real storylines. Let's just keep that in mind. So they don't have the advantage that WWE does when we give them the scores of week after week after week after week of build up, or in WWE's case, hopeful build up that we don't get any of. But I'll digress. These are cold matches, a lot of them. Mm-hmm. All right. They use YouTube and social media to kind of build a little bit of interest in it. And that's how good tonight's show still was. Can you imagine how good it's going to be when they get weekly television? They can build these stars and these young stars as well. And we know who they are. They start to get layers to their characters because they're going to have them. I guarantee you their storylines are going to be good.
Yeah.
I thought, look, if this was just from the women's match on, I would say like this was an A pay-per-view. Just that. I think big picture, I'm going to put more in the B category, but I think there is, I'm trying to think about this objectively. Part of Matt, I know I made this comparison before, but it is kind of like, I just got to have a relationship and I'm seeing someone new and I was in a really long toxic relationship with someone. So I'm seeing someone new.
This chick is hot. No, Glenn, this chick is hot.
Yeah.
She's banging and you give her an A+.
But context that I have a much shorter history to grade it against. God. It's not the big picture of years and years of being with
fans at home watching. Glenn's an emo, so you need to remember that Glenn doesn't care that the chick is hot, that the new chick is hot. He wants to know about her depth, and he wants to know about what's her favorite color, and yada yada yada. After that, AEW is the hot chick. Hate to break it to you.
Well, okay, so they're the hot chick, but I've yet to form a meaningful relationship. I see promise for a meaningful relationship, but I need to see how that progresses.
right.
That's how I'm going to put it. But no, it was good. It was good, but I thought Double or Nothing was better. But this tonight, we're getting there.
Yeah.
You know, this is a solid installment.
And so we won't be seeing matches like this or chair shots. Tony Khan said that at the scrum afterwards, that the violence on this show that will not be on their TNT show. That kind of stuff will be safe for the pay-per-views, but they won't be doing stuff like that on TNT.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
So what's WWE up to, Raj?
Yeah, what a crazy development that happened on Thursday. Eric Bischoff named executive director of SmackDown. Paul Heyman named executive director of Raw.
Crazy.
Yeah, and then those positions pretty much, it seems like they'll be going into effect either this week or next. WWE had sent out some ads promoting Paul Heyman for Raw, saying what's Paul got in store for Raw, and promoting Bischoff for SmackDown. Now, apparently, the departments got messed up. That wasn't supposed to happen. Bischoff was not supposed to be at SmackDown. What they do now is anybody's guess, because now the ads are out. The promotional material is out there.
Wait, what do you mean? What?
So yeah, they sent out these like email blasts and stuff advertising Eric Bischoff for SmackDown, and that was not supposed to happen.
What was supposed to happen?
Nothing. They're supposed to be like behind the scenes, like it's supposed to be not an on-screen character, but just behind the scenes and
That's the way
not advertise. Yeah, exactly. But these email blasts made it seem like they're going to be on TV.
I didn't take it that way. I took it that, you know what I mean, that both guys would be behind the scenes running each show.
Well, but that's
did you see the actual ad where it shows Eric Bischoff with all the wrestlers? So the ad itself made it seem like Eric Bischoff will be appearing at the show.
Yeah. And in the press release, didn't they even sort of say, like, this isn't a storyline? This is not a televised storyline. So to have the ad with them front and center really shakes up the question of how much is real.
Well, the ad was not supposed to go out. And apparently people are kind of furious in WWE over that being sent out.
Interesting.
So, yeah, I mean, this is all real.
And what's the deal with Hunter being like, what's the deal with that? Going to NXT only? I don't understand.
Well, there's a lot of different theories right now. One is that NXT might be going to FS1. You know, that's been talked about forever. And so you'll want him to keep, staying on board with that and running that. And so you wouldn't want to put like Raw and SmackDown on his plate. So we don't know exactly yet why these choices were made. Vince obviously ultimately made them. Bischoff is interesting just because he hasn't done much since TNA.
No, and it's a different day. This wrestling today, especially with what we just saw with AEW, it's evolving so quickly. I mean, guys, like every month now, it is evolving that fast. The indie scene is red hot, and because of that, and AEW as well, it's evolving. WWE is going to feel very prehistoric soon. I'm being serious in its style, and except for NXT. So NXT has a good chance to keep up with the Joneses. My only question is, why would you take Triple H, who understands the talents and how to get them over and how to give them the spotlight and how to feature their flip-flop and flying stuff so it doesn't just look like flip-flop and flying stuff, like on NXT, for instance. Why would you take him out of the Gorilla from Monday Night Raw, your flagship show that needs to keep up with the Joneses? Yeah. It doesn't make sense.
Well, at least you got Heyman on Raw. So
Paul's okay. I take that back. Yes, Paul is definitely able to keep up with the Joneses. He has a great pulse of the business, definitely. But Eric, who I love to death and I love working with him, I don't know if that's true for him. He's been out for so long.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, Bischoff did change wrestling.
Yes, he did. But wrestling nowadays, Raj,
very
is
different.
Super fast, and how it's moving along. Don't you guys see how quickly this business is evolving in front of us? What we're seeing right now with AEW, 5 years ago, we would call them spot monkeys, and we would say there's no story being told, blah, 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 blah. I'm the biggest fan of it right now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? I love watching it. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what any wrestling peer says. I am entertained watching that, what I just saw tonight.
Well, AEW has been able to successfully take that style and combine it with the production values to make it seem like a big deal. ROH was never able to do that. And that hurt them now. I mean, ROH had a pay-per-view last night. It had the least reaction of an ROH pay-per-view I've seen in a long time. Yeah, so it's AEW was able to take this style and make it cool and make it seem like a bigger deal with the full arenas and the hot arenas and the video packages and the the production. But yeah, to your point, I mean, we'll just have to see. Bischoff has worked on a lot of different TV projects. I mean,
yes,
nothing
I love
really
him.
big.
I love Eric. I don't sound like saying anything negative about him, honestly, because I did like him a lot. I liked working with him even more. I don't know. I think like I said to you, Raj, he's been out of wrestling for how many years since TNA?
Oh gosh, it's
4,
probably
5. No, I've been retired for 5. So 5 years, 6 years.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, that's a lifetime. The business from where it is from 5 years ago. Are you kidding me, guys? Somebody said it. I forget who it was. It might have been Meltzer, actually. He says a year, just 1 year of right now, from last year to this year in pro wrestling, has transitioned quicker and evolved faster. I want to say more than he said back in from 89 to 1993 or 92 in WWF.
Yeah, I agree. But at the same time, I almost trust Bischoff right now more than Vince. Like Vince has just been doing nothing.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah, it's just been stale and the same thing happening week after week. At least Eric will be trying. Right. We'll have to see where it goes if he can keep up. He's been following AEW. He talks about it a lot on his shows. So
good. I hope so. Cool.
If he's paying attention to what's working there, because he's talked a lot about Cody and AEW and how to make things work.
Good.
So he's more familiar with it, I'm sure, than Vince.
Do you guys remember what was the name of TNA after our TNA show was over? It would come. There was another show that was on after it. What was it called? After something. It was awesome, and he and Hervey produced it. It was the best part. It was better than Impact was. Yeah. It was because it was like this hidden camera gimmick where it didn't look sticky and gimmicky. And what was it called? It was so damn good. It got all the fans loved it at the time. Everybody did.
Let me look at it.
I loved it too. Wait, as I covered the shows.
TNA Reaction.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that show was awesome, and that was him. So I'm hoping he's able to do something really like that, where he's being forward thinking, and that's what he always is, though, right? He's always been pretty forward thinking and thinking outside the box, which I always appreciate. I was just concerned he hasn't been watching today's wrestling. That's all.
Yeah, we'll see it, and I'm sure he's going to be. Again, Bischoff's 61 years old, but I'm sure he's a competitive guy, and with Heyman on Raw, I'm sure he's gonna want to make sure that SmackDown is better than Raw. So
hell yeah, he will.
I'm gonna give it a shot. We'll see how it works out.
Yes, it's exciting. They made excitement, right?
Absolutely, it's different. I mean, I know a lot of people, there's some journalists out there really crapping on Bischoff, but they forget how much of the modern style and how many things he implemented with the monthly pay-per-views and the live TV and the cruiserweights, bringing them in on a national level. Yep. He changed wrestling as we know it today.
How about this? One could argue what we saw tonight on AEW. I just told you that this business has been in a microwave oven. That's how fast it's been evolving because of the different independent scenes overseas in England as well, especially in England. It's at a much faster pace, the wrestling today, right? One could argue Eric Bischoff was a part of the process in making that foundation by giving cruiserweights center stage and spotlight on national television back in wrestling's hottest period. Its boom period during the Attitude Era. He kicked it off when you really think about it.
Yeah. And, some people criticize Bischoff for not bringing a lot of those guys up to like the main event spot. But think about most of those cruiserweights didn't make it to the main event spot. It was Eddie, Jericho, and Ray.
And also I would argue that the main event talents back then in WCW, you know what I mean?
Right.
So keen on putting them over either, which made it weird. Whereas WWF at the time, it was Vince's way or the highway. That's it. You had one person to answer to. WCW kind of got muddy a little bit, right? Towards the top with the main event guys like Hulk and people like that.
And you had gigantic stars on top in WCW.
Yes,
like Piper, Savage. You had Warrior there for a while. I mean, Sting. Goldberg, Big Show. You know, like Eddie, he became a superstar, I think, once he started doing the stuff with China and things like that. He didn't have that kind of charisma back then. So he would have looked out of place, you know, in a storyline with those guys. Jericho wasn't there yet. He still felt goofy. Ray, you know, he was starting to get built up. But, yeah.
All it would take with Ray, though, would be like one promo from like, you know, Scott Hall or someone calling him like, "Hey, dude, my 12-year-old's taller than you," or something like that, and then boom, Ray would be buried. You know what I mean?
Right.
Those things, and try to make someone a main event talent.
Yeah.
Well, the question is, how much authority are they really going to have? They still report to Vince. Vince still has final say, and that's why backstage, what are you hearing from the wrestlers about this, Raj, about their optimism or pessimism?
Yeah, good question.
Perhaps.
So far, I've only talked to a few guys, but so far it's been all positive about Heyman and very skeptical about Bischoff.
Interesting.
Jim, they're gonna like Bischoff. That's the crazy thing. They're gonna like him. I didn't know what to expect when he was coming to TNA. It didn't work out with TNA. Let's just be honest, it didn't. But I remember being very excited.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, TNA. I mean, they did their highest ratings when, you know, they were there at the same time. You know, on the one hand, but yeah, at the same time, it kind of, a lot of the stuff that happened there kind of spread up the company to go downhill by spending too much at the end and going live weekly, and that turned out to be a disaster. And switching to 4 pay-per-views turned out to be a disaster.
Listen, our show was better from 2000, and this is no joke, from 2010 to 2008 to 2010.
Yeah.
If you go back and watch that, when they came in, they did pop the highest rating that we've ever gotten, right? In the first debut episode, basically, and then some others along the way, but it was not better from the Hogan and Bischoff era from then versus 2008 to 2010. If you guys go back and watch it, the storylines we had were much, much better back then.
When was Samoa Joe and Kurt Angle? That was even earlier than that. And that
it was 07, 08. I'd actually say 07 then to 2010.
Yeah. That was some of the best stuff TNA did. So
yeah.
Anyway, we'll see what Bischoff does. You know, again, it's not him having complete control. He's under Vince. We'll see how much change Vince is going to allow.
This is great, though. I think this is awesome.
Yeah. Again, this is just wild times in pro wrestling. It's exciting.
Man, it is.
It's weird for having the record low ratings and stuff. It's like the most exciting time, as far as WWE goes. Yeah.
It's good, and we'll be here to cover it all Monday night on the Wrestling Inc. podcast, the first Monday Night Raw of the Paul Heyman era. We will see how that plays out in the first SmackDown of the Bischoff era on Tuesday. Matt Morgan, anything you want to plug?
How was tonight's Evolve show? Wasn't tonight's Evolve?
No, I thought that's against Fight for the Fall.
Yeah, that's against Fight for the Fall. 2 weeks.
Okay. All right. Nothing to plug. Yeah, nothing.
Okay.
I got a couple things to plug. I mentioned the other day we got an interview with Kevin Von Erich coming up very soon. We just conducted it last week. Just crazy stuff. I mean, a legendary figure.
Questions?
What's that?
Questions from Viceland, did you ask?
Yep. Yeah, we talked a lot about Viceland. He talked about some of the other Viceland episodes, like about Moolah, his experiences with Moolah, Bruiser Brody, of course, the Von Erich episode. And then also we got Ric Flair again. It's been a year since we talked to him. So Ric Flair is back. He talks about AEW, he talks about Bischoff and Heyman coming in.
Dude, why didn't you have me on? That's my boy. Why didn't you have me on?
Well, I didn't conduct it. It was Nick conducted it, but yeah, it was amazing stuff. It's like 45 minutes long, and that the first part we'll have an article on it tomorrow, and that interview will drop on Tuesday on the Weekly. So make sure to subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, wherever you get your podcasts, if you haven't already.
Very cool. I'm Glenn Rubenstein. You can find me on Twitter at Glenn Rubenstein, where I'd greatly appreciate a follow. And we will see you back here Monday night on the Wrestling Inc. podcast. Take care.
AEW.